Meeting to order and hope some folks fill in and ask for approval of the agenda.
I'll make that approval.
Second.
Motion from Karen, second from Bruce, I think. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Public comment? Moving on to item 4, approval of minutes from April 13 regular meeting.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll second.
Thanks, Deanna.
Just throw minutes.
Any discussion? Thank you, Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Financials. Any questions, comments, explanations? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Bruce?
Second.
Karen, second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
This is going to be the fastest meeting ever
That's not my intention.
until I spoke.
Right.
Well, good morning, everyone, and
Did we approve the expenses?
I thought you just did.
That's included in the
Financials.
financials? Okay, all right, sorry. Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So, just wanted to provide you with some details. I'm absolutely getting my feet underneath me. Carmen's doing a great job, and so we have a few things to report out. We will have checks to sign here in a bit for unpaid bills, so that was included in your report. And then on the economic development front, I just want to give you some details from the report. We do have a new owner of 348 River Street, also known as the Vault. We have put together, at the Chamber, put together an interested developer with another interested investor, a construction company. And so there's a big plan coming for that property. It'll be utilized and be very open to the public. And I can also just preliminarily leak out a report that the developer is very interested in connecting to the Riverwalk with the business. So it's going to be something that's going to have essentially two faces and be very open and inviting. And so this is the kind of development that we would hope for in terms of getting that type of dual facing and vibrant concept. So that's coming. More to come on that one as it progresses. We probably are looking at an 18 to 24 month timeline though. I've also spoken to the prospective new owners of River Street Station. So that's another business that is going to come in. So that's another positive. And I'm also working quite a great deal on a project on Water Street for one of our RRC sites, the Amore Sign Company. So we will see how that goes. That's very preliminary, but that's something that's in your report and a very positive development. We also have the Hart Building and Chippewa Auto owners who've been in contact. That is possibly going to be a new small takeout eatery and apartments. We also were able to attract a new business to downtown, Mangiardi Films. So that's a company coming out of Southeast Michigan and relocating here. So that's another positive. And we also have another new accounting firm in our community, Salt City Accounting. We've been working with them as well, and they're setting up, I believe, in Dr. Gardine's building. So there's a lot of movement there. And we also have been working, one last thing I just noticed, should mention this because I want to give them a plug. Caitlin Huber, entrepreneur, as if you haven't seen her product yet, Wholesome Bites, fantastic bakery, sweet shop. We're working with her on trying to find her brick and mortar spot downtown. So hopefully we'll be able to have some news on that sometime soon. But I've been working with her for about a year and a half, trying to get her downtown. And that just goes to underscore how difficult it is to find a place downtown that's ready to move in and to do business. I know there are complaints about how we don't have things downtown. It really is about the state of the building and the eagerness of the building owner. So we're working through that, and I think there's some potential movement on that front, but it's really hard to locate. And some other examples, Purple Paintbrush and the tattoo parlor had a very difficult time finding places to lease, and it took Purple Paintbrush about a year and a half as well. So, part of your ED funding to the chamber goes towards that kind of outreach and work, and as well as the cities. The city has an investment in that as well, but those are some of the recent things that are going on. So we're not lacking for work or for interest.
Mark, has the ISD been able to find anything downtown yet?
We have been working with that too.
Okay. All right.
We have a lot more work to do. We had, the chamber went along with ISD last week or 2 weeks ago to view some properties.
Yeah.
And one was just unsuitable, so thank you for bringing that up. One was just really bad, and the vision's not there.
All right.
Another one, there is a prospect that's not downtown, but it's close. And we have to work through a lot of issues on that to get it ready, but I think ISD is interested in pursuing that. Let me, do you mind if I say anything about what that's about?
Oh, no, yeah.
So the intermediate school district is looking for space downtown to have a program for the 18 to 26-year-olds that they have a program with. That could include living arrangements, but also an incubator business site that would give them life skills and perhaps potential employment during the school year. And so they kind of need something like a commercial kitchen or something along those lines and an apartment space. And that is not happening downtown. We just really don't have a lot of opportunities for that. So the school district approached the chamber, and we've been working with them just a little bit, and we might have a solution for them, but it's going to take some significant investment.
Wasn't the Gateway going to have a business thing?
Yeah, incubators,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah, so
years away.
So the Gateway, thank you. And with Councilmember Grabowski in the audience, I probably should talk about the Gateway. I was not going to mention that, but we probably should. So the Gateway project has changed because the development team has changed. And this happened in the last year. The chamber was involved in this work where we have a new development team. So Little River Holdings is still there. Obviously, they own the land, but there's a new development team. With that came a new look. That last plan that was put in front of City Council and other places was really the previous half of the development team. So they had reuse of the Cadillac building, incubator site at the gas station, and then the hotel and some other things. That will not work for the next development team, and also had some issues with the expenses that they were going to incur because of the reuse and where they were going to put parking. So this one will be a hotel, obviously. It will have parking in some form in phase 1. In phases 2 or 3 or 4, there will be the addition of housing, because it's needed, and perhaps office space. So more people downtown for businesses, but no incubator would be included in that. Now, there could be restaurants and other things on first floor commercial space, but that still needs to be determined, and that will most likely be in phase 2 or beyond. But right now, the plans are really fluid, and, I think that if we want to try to find spaces for incubators for small businesses, there are thoughts on how to do that and have it elsewhere downtown or near downtown. Okay. Demolition on the gateway will probably, could potentially start in the next month or two. So we're still waiting on approvals on that project for Eagle, and so we could see that at some point in the near future.
Has there been some delays on that? It seems like we've been saying a month or two for a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the brownfield work and the approvals from the state agencies have kind of gone back and forth. And, that's something you want to get right, get correct, but it's taking a little bit of time to make sure that all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted.
Great. Okay.
So,
Thank you very much, Mark. Any questions for Mr. Miller?
Sounds like Tom was hopeful that email I got from Eagle was, but it sounds like there's still some delays.
yeah, we need to maybe talk to Tom again this week to see where we're at, but it's almost there, right? So we had an email this week from, the developers had an email this week from Eagle. It's close, hopefully.
Is it true that once that part of the process is complete and the demolition is complete and the brownfield, whatever remediation is complete, that you could have phase one going on with construction and find additional funding and have phase two going at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is predicated on this first phase being done and complete?
Correct.
Okay.
And let me just go a little bit further in a little bit more detail so you understand, because it's part of our responsibility here is managing TIF dollars for DDA, right? Part of that phase one funding in the project is also reliant or predicated on the brownfield TIF dollars coming in. And so capturing those dollars and then reimbursing for eligible expenses, that's important for phase one. So all of that is stacked on top of each other, and with the large plans here, it makes it a very complex project, and it's really not much of a surprise. It's going to take 3 to 5 years or so to get this thing moving. So we're already in year 3, really. So it's going to take a little bit longer.
A lot going on. All right, shall we move on? Thank you, Mark. Ad hoc committee reports, streetscape RFQ. Bill?
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
So maybe just put a draft on this. It's, we're very close with it, but I think I just wanted the DDA committee to take a look at it if you have any changes. The timeline, we're looking to issue it later this week and then potentially have the proposals back on the 7th of June, then schedule interviews, and then potentially approve in July, the July meeting. So we'll have, my hope is to still use the ad hoc committee to do an initial review of scoring, and then we'll have the interviews, and I think invite any member of the DDA to come to those. We'll come with a recommendation. Yeah, I think we had some meetings with our group, which is Mark Miller at the end, and Kyle, Bruce, thank you for your input, Karen. I was sending it to your Manistee email. I don't know if that led to any confusion, but if you have any input, just read it over and let me know, and we can make some changes. But in general, I think we kind of, if you look at the scope of work on page 7, under C, these were discussed during our meeting. I'm going to add bid documents to deliverable and also overall project timeline. Please take a look at that. Let me know if you think anything's missing. engagement, we talked about a minimum of 3 sessions.
Mhm.
And really the idea is to, we're going to have some focus groups come up with goals for River Street and then implementation strategies for, we talked about short, medium, and long-term goals and looking at costs for each of them. It can be as simple as painting for wayfinding or, we can have transitionary improvements that we can do. So those are the kinds of things we're looking for is low cost, high impact, and then we'll have hopefully a good document to move forward, and this firm should be able to then implement too with getting the bid documents and then finding a firm. Kyle, Mark, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Yeah, if everybody could take some time and go through this and email Bill or I any comments or additions or questions, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. District business. Deanna, do you have anything? Sorry, there you are.
So we just ended the Mother's Day thing that we did downtown, and that was very successful. I don't know if any of you saw the little thing that Emporium put on when they drew it. I really was impressed by the number of names in the basket, so I think that was really a win. We're going to do the same thing for Father's Day. So it's just, shop downtown, you get an entry into the basket, and then you get this basket full of gifts from vendors from downtown and the merchants, The merchants are all being very supportive, and it's really kind of a fun little program that we started it last year. Did it for Mother's Day, and then we'll do it for Father's Day again. So that is going on. I know that we're all gearing up for a busy summer. We're looking forward to that. When are the flower boxes coming? We're like less than 2 weeks away from Memorial Day. Do we know?
There is a date on that. I don't have it.
Okay.
I'll have to ask Carmen what the status is, but it's coming.
Okay.
I know that.
I know it's been cold and all that, but we're just always look forward to that beautification piece for downtown. So that is really what we've got going on right now for district or businesses, or what we've got going on downtown. I'm trying to be welcoming to all the new businesses, so it's nice to know when they're coming in. Sandwich shop right across from us, new. I think that they're doing pretty well. So anyways, that's what we've got. Yeah.
The week of May 16th.
Week of May 16th. That is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Cool. Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Beautification?
I do not have a report on beautification.
Okay.
But I do have some questions. Should we save that for the end, or?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay. I do have the receipt for the gazebo that we want to put in the art park.
Okay.
So I'll give that to you. And then I was wondering what the status was on the landscaping for the Riverwalk.
And so I submitted for an EDA grant. I know you provided some quotes for landscaping. I think you mentioned something about irrigation being needed. At the end of the meeting, we talked about potentially a business or some way to get it watered or have a warranty. So when we met with the DDA about upcoming projects, irrigation was not mentioned. And with that is the quote you wanted. I know it was $27,000. The budget was $20,000. So we weren't budgeted for an irrigation repair, and the $27,000 is above the budget. So I think I'm not sure how we want to move forward with that.
Could we do the main garden and irrigation? What would irrigation cost?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
This might be more of a question for Jeff. With we'll just call it removal of the irrigation last year, was that insurance, was there an insurance claim or anything like that? You said that vandals had taken a bunch of irrigation equipment.
Yeah, my understanding is that the irrigation, there's a couple small pieces of irrigation that were
Okay.
put in when the Riverwalk was constructed. I know that they haven't worked in at least the 9 years I've been with the city.
Okay.
But some of the components, like the vacuum breakers, all of that in every park was stolen.
Yeah.
Stolen.
Stolen, yeah.
So as we're getting the parks back with water right now, we're having to rebuild all of it. There wasn't an insurance claim because they were multiple separate small, I say smaller, but
Sure.
because it happened in, 12, 15 different locations. The police have arrested somebody twice for the same thing. The suspect was caught, arrested, and then the court let him out on probation. They were caught again, and I'm not sure what the current status of that is, but it's been a real issue.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that the ones on the Riverwalk hadn't been used, so.
Well,
okay.
there's water up to the bridge that comes that's fed from the marina.
Okay,
Then there was some historically in the next segment, and I think that's it.
okay.
I think there was some behind Manistee and the marina, and that's the only place that I know of that had water.
Okay.
So could the money that was budgeted for landscaping, could it be repurposed for irrigation?
Potentially, I guess if that's what the DDA would like, I think you are then dealing with an ongoing cost of water and things like that, and maintenance, which I know some places they'll pump out the water from the river maybe or if you use native plants and rain gardens, which was proposed in the EDA grant, that's kind of more of a sustainable. So yeah, I think we have a couple unknowns, the cost and then the ongoing, who's going to pay for the ongoing maintenance of irrigation and the water bill.
Okay, because I do know that a couple of the landscapers would not plant anything without irrigation.
Okay.
So we won't have gardens unless we have irrigation.
Okay.
And then the other group that was going to put in a native garden by the bridge, we're still waiting on whether or not the 2,000 could be budgeted to them.
Like as a reimbursement?
Yeah. So would you want them to purchase everything first and then submit?
Are they a community group or?
Yeah, the volunteers were with Manistee Proud, and
Okay.
he has since gotten other volunteers on his own to help with the garden.
I guess it seems better if we plan ahead rather than reimburse, to me.
That could be like an auditing problem
Yeah.
along the line. If we kind of like say we'll purchase something, it's easier for us to, auditing wise, to purchase the items instead of reimbursing individuals. That's why I asked, is it an organization or a person or what?
It's part of Manistee Proud.
Okay.
Are they
we are not-
501c3? Yeah, so it does get part of that. If I went and spent it, then you're going to write a check to Karen Goodman, and so that'll be a red flag on an audit.
Okay.
So, but if Manistee Proud was an organization and we were reimbursing them, that's a little bit different.
Okay, so then what is the right way for me to do that then? Get a list of?
Yeah,
what
I think
we
so.
need?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think submit.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
much better way to do it.
Okay, sounds good. And
Okay.
then the other thing was, the $2,000, that was it.
Okay,
Yeah, those three things.
all right.
Is there some vendor that we work with, probably a lot, with all our gardens and stuff?
Well, they were working with MSU on a couple
Oh,
of
okay.
things, so
All right.
I'm not sure where they're going to get their supplies from. And
Is that-
Wormworks, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I don't know that either. Because down the road, we can always consider as spring and fall, I mean, we're always doing plants and stuff, so it's like, get a few vendors out there who are willing to
Yep.
work with us and get an MOU or something with them, and then we have a supply.
Right. And my other question was for the planners, and whether or not, I don't know if, we talked about at the last meeting that, I don't know if you needed me down on River Street when you put those planners down.
I need to know when they need to be out, and then I need at least a week to prepare them. And then I would like your assistance in guiding where they go.
Okay, so you said the 16th, Mark? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I will share the email that Carmen got, and she said that she spoke with someone from DPW. So let me find that, and I'll share that with
Okay.
everyone.
And then I got an email from Jamie Catlett. She wanted 2 in front of her store, but there aren't any left, are there? That are repainted.
There's only 10 that are repainted.
Oh, I thought there were 12.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, so, but there's none extra once we place them on
Well,
River
there's,
Street?
yeah, there's over 40 of them, so we can put out as many as you need.
But they're not repainted?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So I would say not putting any planters out if they're not repainted.
Okay. I'm not sure what they look like, do they look that bad?
Well, in my opinion, they looked bad, yeah. But
Okay.
I don't know how everybody else feels.
I trust your opinion. Okay? Thank you. Old business.
I have a few that
Okay,
I
please.
wanted to bring up. I just wondered if it's time to go back and revisit talking with landowners, business owners, property owners about housing up above. We did this, it's got to be maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We did kind of a survey of all the different owners. I don't know if you have that report. But it'd be nice to go back and, it's like, can we start looking at this again? Can we look for housing up above? I'd like us to walk down that again.
And Karen, Tyler Lepinen was the
Yeah.
executive director at the time that
Right.
that was done. And so that's several iterations ago.
I
We
bet I
have
missed
the-
that long.
We have the report, and also, since I came on, we have reached out and had a building survey
Yeah,
that we sent to building owners that we had contacts for, and I did a lot of research to try to find out who all the LLCs belong to, et cetera. We only had like 11 or 13 responses on that, but I think you're right. I think we have opportunities. MEDC tells me that there is funding. It's just whether or not the building owners then can have the capital to match that, but I think it's time to do that, so.
Could I ask, on that match, does it have to be a match from the building owners?
That's an interesting question, Bruce. There's a $104,000 land acquisition fund sitting at the DDA that could be used, right?
Right.
I'm over-speaking there. I shouldn't have done that.
but
I-
it's just, it's all the options.
Yeah.
All the options.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
I don't think, I think we should have a package in mind when we approach the building owners.
That's
That
really,
includes, one of the things that I heard when I first got here was that building owners didn't want to be landlords. They didn't want the hassle, okay? Well, part of this conversation needs to be, and you don't have to have the hassle if you don't want to. There are management firms here to manage the properties. And here's here's who's available. We've spoken to them, and this is the way that it would work, right? So that when we approach people with the whole picture so they can say yes and no and sign.
And it'd be nice not to just have it redone for Airbnb stuff. I mean,
Yes.
I don't mind that, and it's okay, but it'd be nice to have some people, some space for a younger generation of people who would like to be in the center of stuff and walkable, they don't want to,
Or even older generation.
Yeah.
yeah, just,
well, the MEDC money may come with strings attached, and that may be one of the strings. So I'll have to double check on that.
yeah, I think, I can see where, I'm looking at that place, I know there's a couple Airbnbs in there, and, it's like, it's okay, but I would like to see a little more housing downtown for permanent residents.
Yeah.
And, I will throw out the land bank information again. You know, it's, I think about a couple of these buildings that have been sitting for a while, and if maybe their owners are interested in talking with the land bank, maybe especially some of the very old buildings on River Street we could refurbish. It's an opportunity, it has the brownfield stuff and everything with it, so it's just an opportunity as we grow it. So that was one.
The MEDC did have a rental rehab program.
Years ago.
Yeah, because I remember we used it at Vanderwall's across from the Bluefish.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have that
It's like
program.
8 apartments.
They do,
Yeah.
they do.
Yep.
They do. And so Dan Leonard from our community action team, point of contact for MEDC, told me 2 or 3 months ago that the rental rehab money was available. Now, I couldn't find a real good solid link on how to approach that, but I can go back at that.
Vanessa Buell at Habitat for Humanity, she's the one that led that. So she knows all the ins and outs of that.
Yep.
Send that to me too. Send that to me too if you have some.
Yeah.
I have her contact information if you need it.
Vanessa's?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got her, thanks. Yeah, she's
reaches
she's
out.
prolific.
Anything else, Karen?
Yes, I wanted to talk about, we have talked to several times, I don't know if you've been able to get, the city was going to do a master plan for maintenance stuff and bring it, we've talked about it several times here. Has that happened? Do we have that yet? Has the city done that?
Master plan for maintenance? No.
Maintenance, management, I don't know what you call it.
Preventive maintenance schedule?
Yeah, like, I know when, oh my gosh, I forgot the CFO's name. Sorry. What's,
Ed?
Ed. When
Ed
Ed was
Bradford.
coming to the meetings, we were gonna have kind of develop a maintenance schedule for everything, and
So I think what ended up happening with that is Jeff, Ed, Kyle, and myself met with, also Christina. We met to start budgeting for things such as the fountain, clock, paver, repair, light post painting, and the flower bed, the planter painting. So we started budgeting money for it. So I think it has been something that hasn't been done for many years, so we're kind of getting into it now.
yeah, it was, I know you were gonna do a citywide, and then, you know, our
Asset
specific
management
areas
plan.
were gonna be, because what brought it up was that other park on the other side of the bridge. You know, that,
The North Riverwalk, yeah.
Has a maintenance schedule ever been in place?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not in written form.
and that would, I think that getting that together and having that, it's like, it would help us too, especially in the downtown area, because if there's something that's creeping to the top of the list that you can't get to because you have these other big projects, we can start looking at alternative ways to get to it. You know what I mean? If you, let's use the clock and the fountain. So the clock needs repair and the fountain, does its thing too. And so we, as the DDA, say we really want this project, to go forward, but we recognize that you can't do it because you're doing this one. We could kind of start having a conversation about how do we get that done.
We had those conversations monthly when we had the design committee for years.
I hear you completely, and it's wonderful that the conversations happen. They need to happen around the document, so we can point at things, and it's a mechanism of communication between DPW and DDA and the city council. It's something that we can all point to as our plan for maintaining these assets. Right now, if there's some conversations over here and some conversations over there, you lose continuity across time, because these are not one-year problems. They're multi-year problems, and we need to have a plan for addressing them that is in writing that we can all look at.
That's a good point.
What I'm just writing down now for this deliverable would be anything we decide to implement would be you get a preventative maintenance schedule for the improvements. So
It's really an asset management plan.
Right.
Yes.
And I think, we applied to revamp the Riverwalk on the north, with the grant, and also this south Riverwalk. We're looking at doing the streetscape here. And I think that irrigation hasn't worked for 15, 10 years, you said down there?
At least, yeah.
So it is one where as we do the new projects, I think we do that. I think we acknowledge the fact that I think it's been ignored for so long, and we're trying to take some chunks where we know we want to keep these certain elements, so let's fix them up. But agreed, we're all agreed that we need an asset management plan for items.
And the maintenance schedule that I presented to you, that would allow for nothing to fall through the cracks, that was my intention at least.
And I've spoken with Jeff about checklists and things like that, and they do utilize those.
And that asset management plans, it will help the DDA as well. I'm thinking historically, when the marina was done and the bathrooms were put in, and then there was like $250,000 that the DDA also kind of contributed to a management plan. And so in the future, as we come into funds or work on things, if we say, let's build it, and here's a maintenance, fund to go with it, we can also know that money went here. I mean, right now, I know that it went into the marina, it went into the building, but we really have no tracking on where that fund went to. So this would help, which I'm kind of shocked never came up in the DDA's audits and stuff, but it's just an ability to kind of manage that. And again, if I'm going to put $250,000 over there and we see, oh, it looks like it's doing okay, and we have an emergency over here, we need water, we might say, can we take that $50,000 or $7,000 from there and move it over here to a different maintenance line? So it's just managing those funds differently and the projects. The last thing, always my favorite, is blight. I did not think chipboard could be, just chipboard could be sitting visible to the public. It had to be taken care of, right? That's why we got the wonderful colors painted on it.
It's not just chipboard, it's got shamrock on it.
Oh, yeah, hearts or something else, but we're getting up to summer, and again, you guys know this is my irritation. We're getting into summer, now we're gonna have scalp filling, we're gonna have saws, we're gonna have all that stuff sitting on our sidewalks, unsupervised on occasion. So I just, what can we do? What can we do? I want that chipboard either taken care of. I know they're gonna get windows, they say, but I'm talking about the stuff in front of the doorways.
And how long have we
Gordon
been talking
Raspberry.
about this?
I'm talking about the Rosemary
So
building.
I think the court order was it's be done by, I think, the 15th of May, which is coming up. And
Okay.
George is aware. I spoke with him. We actually had a study session last night about blight, and I spoke with George after the study session about next steps with that. So it is, the remedy though is, so they're going to be in violation. It's going to be a ticket. And the frequency of those tickets is going to be something that George is going to work on, but we are trying to push them to get that done. But the remedy is we do it ourselves, and that was another topic that we talked about with blight. I don't know how much we can go in and fix up a building without a contractor, so I presented a contractor RFP, but there's a difference between board up cleanups and then actually working on someone's building, so that's kind of a
Touchy subject.
yeah, so we're aware of it, and I think it's something we're going to be pursuing and putting pressure on.
Well, and then as time goes on, maybe we'd also want to watch them for the safety issues. I mean, I don't mind if somebody's building and they're working on something, but this will be the third summer in a row I'm going to be watching that circular saw sitting out there. It's like, and I'm not saying they're not conscientious. They're doing good work. The buildings are looking beautiful except for all the chipboard, but all right, we're done, 20 years. And especially since we're getting we got new owners across the street, we're gonna have some revamp. It'd be nice to have the Jack Pine building cleaned up a little bit, but, just, again, it's long enough.
Stacy's actively searching for painters for the Jack Pine building, and I know she's kind of run into a dead end there, so.
I've got somebody for her.
Okay, any other old business?
Have you been in debt?
Hmm?
New business?
Yeah, I guess the city attorney informed me that I think one business owner didn't allow a service dog in. It's just, I guess by law, you have to allow them in.
Okay.
So I was wondering, he was asking me to appropriate venue for it. I thought maybe that newsletter that goes out to business owners. Do you think that would be appropriate?
I'm
The
sorry, what
Economic
did you say now?
development, or the one that Mark does?
Isn't there like a
The one,
business-
Christina put.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Service dog regulations or law, or what would you?
I'd have to ask George what so there was a service dog that wasn't allowed into a business, or apparently it turned into a big deal with.
There's a difference between a comfort dog, and a service dog. And a service dog, you have to have your papers with you, and they should have markings.
Okay. And he was saying you don't have to show the papers for that. That's what our city attorney said.
You don't have to, I guess. If you're really using your service dog properly, you would not hesitate to do that, I guess. I don't understand why you would be such an issue.
Well, sounds like an isolated incident, but it'd be
Yeah.
good to put that in the newsletter.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Any other new business? Questions?
Kyle?
Yes.
Sorry for the
No, that's all right.
dashing off. On new business, I just want to inform everyone that we have a budgetary approval item that needs to be done as a public hearing. We'll put that under new business next month. We didn't allow for enough time for public notice. We will follow public notice laws, and so we will do that next month. Everything will be fine, but I just wanted you all to know that there's a budgetary issue that needs to be cleaned up.
Formality.
It's a formality.
Yeah, I forgot about it too. Thank you. Public comment,
Yes.
please.
Aaron, I'm in the same boat as you are. I bring that up as Bill can attest to, and I bring it up to George, and I didn't know, when I talked to George outside the meeting last night, and I'm in agreement with you. I'm on that thing every meeting, so I'd like to see that cleaned up and gotten rid of, and something done with it. They've been approached so many times that after 20 years, I'm tired of it too.
It's the beautiful work, I know it's a fine line, they're doing beautiful work. I know they want to revamp a building, but, all
You
right.
can't do it with one man.
Yeah.
Any other public comment? Go ahead, please.
I do have a question for Mark. When you were going through businesses, any update on the Milwaukee house and then the former gas station, same owner, but.
Sure. It is my understanding that the site plan is in at the planning department / city zoning administrator, and that there has been a review. I do not know what the pending or what the status is after the review, and there might be news on that that I'm not aware of anything. And I think it continues to be in the zoning planning court to work with that business owner and to work through that. But they do have a site plan and they have something to review.
I think, and I know a little more because I covered planning, but I do think our representative was saying that he has to submit it, but it was not going to pass because it's still in violation of the new zoning ordinance, at least the current. I don't know if it was going to pass review. This was a while back, a couple weeks ago. And I do believe it's going to take some time with that because the current thing is in violation of a lot of the zoning ordinance. So, and a lot of times they don't pass it, so they have to have something in there. So.
And I met with Katie this week about it, and then I'm hoping to meet with Marty and Katie next week. So
Okay.
hopefully we find a resolution.
Okay.
And they own they own the old gas station too? Are they going to do anything with that?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, all right.
Barbecue drive-through.
Okay.
Please.
Can I give some updates?
That'd be great, thank
Ask
you.
some questions?
Yeah.
When's the bridge gonna be open?
So the bridge is on schedule. It will open before Memorial Day.
You finally got some good weather.
Yeah, we got a stretch of weather, so all the sealant and surface treatment was completed in the last 2 days. Contractor's supposed to return either this afternoon or tomorrow, the general contractor, to begin cleaning and greasing and doing the final balancing. As soon as that's completed, then we'll be able to open it up. But as always, the completion was before Memorial Day, so we're still on target with that. We do have, I mentioned before, we do have the crosswalk signs at the garage. So I've got to come up with we've got to figure out how to mount those within the pavement. And then I've got to get them scheduled and find time to be able to do that. But just so you know, it's on our to-do list. I don't know if it's actually on, but we've been working on the fountain, cleaning it and getting it prepped. It's got a lot of plumbing issues, so we're trying to kind of bandage it up to get it going. I feel bad. We couldn't get it going before prom, because that's always a big focal point for pictures. All of Kyle's evergreens they're almost all gone. He's making progress on that.
My evergreens.
They're yours.
Great, drop them off.
We started bringing on summer help about 3 weeks ago and started immediately going down through the Riverwalk. We've got a couple more on right now, so they're doing kind of that first sweep. I was going to ask about the baskets, because there's a whole process. We fill them with wood chips, then we add composted topsoil into the liners, put the liners in the baskets. So the week of the 16th, but if you know that day, let me know. I'll check to find out how fast we can get them together, and then I'll reach out to Kelly so we can schedule when to put them out. It'll have to be first thing in the morning before traffic gets out there.
I am going to be working out of town between Tuesday and Saturday of next week.
So we can go out and set cones
Okay.
at the
Okay.
locations, and then we can just replace the cones, set the basket, if that would work better for you
Great.
then. The planters, any idea when the planters are arriving? And those are usually come from Wheezy's.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that with Carmen.
Okay.
So that we'll do that. She's
And
handling
then
those details.
Normally, the planter baskets and the benches are a list that's created by the DDA of where they go. We got the
We have that
boxes
list.
taken care of. I need to know where the benches go, because I need to plan and get those benches out also.
It's on
So-
that list I sent you.
Yeah, so there is an email exchange that has the list, so I will
Okay.
forward that to you or resend it or
And
however.
then we got a bunch of bracket parts delivered to us for downtown. I don't know if there's any changes with any of the banners, but if anything like that's coming up, please let me know. We're starting to increase the cleaning and the restrooms downtown and the trash removal, both on the Riverwalk and downtown. And then we usually around after Memorial Day, we'll go to full-time, so we're doing that every day of the week. Couple other things, Memorial Drive, the reconstruction of Memorial Drive, we're opening bids on that tomorrow morning. And expect that to be probably midsummer into fall project. The good news is that the bridge will be opening soon. One of the negative items is that DTE has to replace a gas main in front of the brewery and go out into the intersection at 5th Washington Memorial Maple. But we did a little pre-con on site last week. I'm just going to close basically the shoulder on the west side of the road up to the intersection. They can get most of their work done in that. So north-south traffic will be able to flow. But we will close a portion of the intersection where it crosses 5th Avenue for probably 3 days. So that'll stop the east-westbound at that intersection. But it's a short-term thing, and the brewery's gonna be the biggest one impacted, but they're aware of it. And it does replace the service to the condo project and the brewery as well. Other than that, we're just trying to get everything opened up and ready, you know, our target's always Memorial Day for downtown in the all of our parks. And, but as much heads up as you can give me would be appreciated. We're, right now I'm down 3 full-time employees with health issues of various things. But also, our target was to hire 17 seasonal people this year, and we've been able to staff 12 of them. So we're still aggressively out advertising, talking, looking for people if you know anybody. The only age limitation is you need to be 18 or older, but we've got some opening in our parks, in the street department, and at the city marina, so.
I think you're aware of some washouts, but one from last summer still is the pavers next to the mailbox in front of the Jack Pine building.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so that wasn't a washout, it was a sinkhole.
okay,
And there's actually a vault still underneath that sidewalk.
okay,
First I knew about that. But it's the fire suppression line and there's valving that goes into that building. So apparently when the streetscape was put in at that location, a thickened concrete sidewalk was placed over the top of it. I've had it structurally reviewed, that's fine. But there's a little piece right behind the curb where they actually put wood and then the brick pavers over the top of it. So the wood rotted, that created the sinkhole. And I'm just waiting for a detail from the engineers on how to put that back permanently.
okay. Are you aware of the washout on Greenbush by the storm drain there?
No.
Okay, there was an orange cone on it for a while.
Oh, okay.
And it is significantly worse this morning from the rain last
Yeah, it
night.
looks like we've got one at River and Maple too.
I saw that too, thank you. Okay. Anything for Jeff? Thank you for taking the time.
Is the Olson building part of, that Memorial is not part of our district? Memorial Drive,
It is, yeah.
And so the Olson building is part of the district?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Kind of forget about it sometimes.
Have the Olsons said anything about what they want to do?
I'm going to toss to you. There's been discussion.
Okay. If there's, it's in discussion, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
It was a couple months ago though, but I don't think anything came of it.
Yeah.
And speaking of signage, though, we should maybe coordinate, I don't know if this would be a Carmen thing, just to look at the social district signage before Memorial Day. I know that there's a couple flags down, so if we need Jeff or somebody to replace those, we should probably coordinate that.
Yeah, that was another one that was, Christina had said she had more stickers coming and
Yeah,
so.
I recall that now.
Also with the social districts, that, so I know there by Outpost, it says you are now leaving the social district. Please, discard your cup. But there's nowhere to, I mean, are they coming into your store and saying, here, I
There's a
gotta-"
trash can right on the corner there, right next to the lamppost, a city trash can.
Is there?
Mhm.
Yeah, we added trash cans at all the exit points.
Okay, I looked for it the other day when I was walking up to Jack Pine, so I
There's
must have
one
missed
there,
it.
there's one next to the mailbox on the other side of that intersection.
Right, okay.
Actually, all 4 corners, I think, almost
Okay.
three out of the 4 corners. Anyway,
Okay, so we just need to make sure that signage is in place, so we don't get in trouble with that.
yep. Anybody else? Thank you, Mark. Mark's been wearing a few hats lately, catching up on DDA stuff as well, so thank you. And a lot of development stuff going on, exciting stuff. So. If nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion.
Kelly, thank you. Karen, second. Have a great rest of the month, week. Thank you.
Karen?